Okay, good morning. We are on day 146, exercise 3. In your book, it's page 331 and 332. Now, there is a possibility for you to do a extra credit activity because right now your math grade is not just great, well, and fine. I'm going to leave this up to you if you want to do this project or not. It's a map project and it would take 3 days, one today, one tomorrow, one the next day. Okay, it's not a lot, but it would take some time and it would take some effort. And if you do all 3 of the maps, then you can turn those in and I'll give you a grade on that. And that could possibly boost your grade up. Now, at the very top of page 331, it says Map Skills Basics. Now, I'm not going to read that. Basically, it's the author of this math book saying that when he was a child, his dad was a tow truck driver on the side for a side job, and that his job as the child was to use the paper map to tell his dad where to go because it was before GPS. I remember even when me and your daddy got married and we had to go, especially moving up to Kansas City, Missouri, we didn't have GPS. We didn't even have cell phones. We had nothing. That kind of stuff didn't even exist yet. So we had paper maps. Every vehicle had a paper map in the side pocket of the door when you'd open it or in the glove box. Every vehicle. And when you were going on a trip or going somewhere to find anything and you didn't know where you was going, you pulled out the paper map, you'd pull over on the side of the road or you'd pull into a place or whoever was riding with you and you'd have to pull the big huge map out. You'd have to find out where you were, which road to go down. There was no such thing as GPS. Not only that, why is it important then, since we have GPS now, for you to have to learn how to read a paper map? Well, glad you asked that question. What if one day we had no GPS? What if everything broke down? Possibility. Or have we ever been somewhere using GPS and it didn't take us where it was supposed to go and then we were for sure lost? Yes, more times than one. So knowing how to use a paper map would be very, very important, even though you may think it's outdated. Anyway, on number 1 below the map, where number 1 and then just right above the map, it's talking about it. Okay, that is day 1 of your extra credit activity. Okay, now I'm going to try to remember to print you out 3 maps of, I could do Wood County or Texas. I don't know. I'll see what I can find. And if you choose to do these activities, it would be great to boost your math grade. Okay, so you do 1 today. It's not hard. You just have to read and just do what it says. Okay, now on the mixed review, I do want that done, and I want to grade it. And you're probably going to have to remind me that I said I was going to grade it. Okay, mental math, number 2, that means just in your mind. Don't use your calculator. Don't write it down. Do it in your mind, best you can. That's numbers 2, 3, 4, and then number 5. Now number 5, it's got all those zeros. Remember, when you multiply numbers that end in a bunch of zeros, pretend like the zeros aren't even there and just multiply the digits. So on number 5, you've got 124 times 1. Pretend like the zeros aren't even there. So what is 124 times 1? It's 124. Okay, but the answer is not 124. The second part of that is those zeros that you ignored, you got to go back and count how many zeros there are in all. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take 124 and add 5 zeros. Put your commas where they go. Add your answer. That's all you do. Okay, so do those. Now on the next page, the fraction, decimal, and percent chart. Now remember back, you did one of these, and you did, okay, it's back on page 319 in your book. Now, you did one of those, and you did pretty well, but you did have some that you missed, and I fixed those for you. So look at the one on page 319 before you finish the one on page 332. Okay? Now, number 13, which is a better deal? a box of 16 granola bars at the local grocery store for $4.50, or a large case of 44 granola bars at the wholesale club for $6.60. Now what you have to do, remember, you need to divide those. You'll take, and you can use your calculator on this, I don't care. You would take, okay, so if there's a box of 16 for $4.50, you need to figure out how much one granola bar is. So you'd take $4.50 and divide that by 16. Okay, the other is there's 44 bars for $6.60. So you'd say, okay, well, $6.60 divided by 44. So in each of those cases, figure out how much one granola bar is. And then whichever one's cheaper, that's the better deal. Okay, numbers 14 through 17. Okay. I used this in my real estate when I was doing my real estate test every time, and I bet I got all the math questions right. This is number 14. Anytime you have what is, that means N or A or B or Z or whatever letter. What is, that means you don't know it. Okay? And then there's your number. Excuse me. Okay, let me start over. Hang on. Let me do this again. Okay. What is your variable? Any letter. Is means this. Okay. Of means this. Okay. That's what all this means in math lingo. So if you know that and you have a problem like what is 22% of 96? Oh, it's so easy. Okay, so what is 22% of 96? There you go. Now you have it written out. Now you can see what to do. Now, obviously, you have to change this to a decimal. So rewrite it. It's always good to just rewrite each step. 0.22, remember, just move it 2 places to the left, times 90. You see what to do? In order to get in, multiply those and then move your decimal. Okay, 90 times 0.22. And then don't even bother with the decimal. You already know there's 2 places to the right of the decimal. So when you multiply 90 times 22 and you get your final answer, just move your decimal over 2 places. Bam, then you got your number. That's all you do on those. Okay, what is in, or any variable? Is means equal, of means times. And when you have a problem like that, write it out like this. That's the way I have to do it. And that helps me see it, where I can know what I have to do. Now, 18, 19, and 20, it says watch the signs. Okay, one's division, one's addition, and one's multiplication. Remember, addition has to have common denominators. Multiplication and division, you can't have mixed numbers. So you got to change them all to improper. And then on division, you actually have to change it to times and the reciprocal of the second number. Remember that. Okay? All right. When you're finished today, check your answers and turn it in today. Okay? All right. That's all for today.